What's going on, guys? My vacation was amazing. It was amazing. Appreciate you asking. I went to Florida. How was everyone's weekend? All right. Let's give it a couple minutes for everyone to get in here. Let me know how the volume is. You're from Florida? Where at? Your weekend was long? That's always good. A long weekend's always good unless you're hyped to start trading on Mondays. I was in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, it was amazing. It was 85 and sunny. You're from Connecticut but live in Denver? Nice. Headed to Miami. That should be good. Miami is amazing. I love Miami. Especially, I love South Beach. It's so fun there. Cocoa Beach. What's going on, Brian? Appreciate you stopping by. I gotta get back in the groove. I'm on vacation mode still. Let's give it 2 more minutes and we'll get started. So, just to give people time. What's up, Andre? Hope everyone had a good weekend. Everyone that's stopping by now. Trying to make my setup a little bit better. Got my mic all worked out now. Yeah, how sick was that? I took a helicopter ride. And it was like it was 45 minutes, and we did the doors off, so we got to stick our feet out the door, and it was insane. And then the pilot, he goes, "You guys ready for this?" And we're like, "Sure." And he just nose dives. He like puts the stick forward, and we just swooped down really close to the water and swooped right back up. It was insane. You've been looking at VET? I've never even heard of it. I'm not really too familiar with crypto, but I am in Bitcoin right now. I'll check that out for sure. It was a helicopter. Yeah. Um, yep, I'm going to actually start with SPY. So I'm going to get started. I'll cover, my watch list. So this is my watch list. Let me extend this. Right, so my watch list is not limited to this. This is just what I'm going to be focusing on, as I do like the setups in all these. So what I always do is I always put SPY and QQQ at the top of my watch list. That way I can see, what the market's doing. Right, I want to see what SPY is doing, and I want to see what tech is doing. So let's get on to SPY. Okay, so this dip area, right, we potentially thought that we were going to end up going to that 358 level, but we held, right, this previous resistance, and we bounced extremely hard into all-time highs, and we broke that all-time high, right? We broke above, but we came back down, we faked out, which is usually what happens, right? You always break out, and then it comes back down, hovers a little bit before going higher, which, if you've been trading long enough, this is just a common sequence of events. And then we came back down. We used this old resistance as a new support right here, and then we bounced off again. But then the market sold off. And then, as you could see, indicated by this white trend line that I have, right, this previous resistance line, we bounced right there again. So that was definitely a bullish bounce that I liked. Right, this could be an A, B, C wave with a potential wave 1 and a wave 2 pullback. If we take out the lows of this candle, which, let me get an exact number for you. So if we take out this 387.15, I'll be bearish for the rest of the week. And if we break the highs of last week, or of this previous sequence, this candle right here on the 19th, I'll definitely be bullish going forward, and maybe we can retest all-time high. I would really like to see a move to 400. SPY wants it really badly. I really think SPY wants to hit 400 before potentially seeing a larger correction, but who knows? So we just have to play the price and play what happens. Let's check out the daily. This was the 2-hour, but the daily. Right, so this might start to turn red a little bit. So we definitely could move sideways a little bit to retest this trend line, right? So we can have maybe a couple days sideways, possibly, maybe an inside candle, right? So this 391.56 level and the 387.15 level, if we move to the downside, I'll be bearish. If we move to the upside, I'll be bullish. And that's exactly how you play inside candles. Let me read some comments here quick. Yep, I'm going to update Bitcoin right after this. And as you can see by the indicators, right, we're not too oversold. We're not too overbought. So I could definitely see some sideways price action, but you never know in the current market. It's been pretty crazy. So let's move on to QQQ. So QQQ, what I'm seeing here, right, we had a 5-wave sequence to the downside. So now this could be considered wave A. And then this could have been considered wave B, which, if that is true, right, so we just need to wait for more price action to occur. We could see a wave C to the downside, which would break this point. So that would be very, very bearish. Or this could have been A, B, C, and then this would have been a wave 1 and then a wave 2 pullback, and indicated by this yellow fib level. This 0.5 is a wave 2 pullback. So it would look something like this, right? So we have our wave 1 with our wave 2 pullback, and then wave 3 to the upside would be all-time highs. Wave 4, wave 5. And let me use, so to get my price target, right, we take the extension, wave 1, pull back to 2. All right, wave 3 price target would be around 353, this level, which is way past all-time highs. And that's not indicating, right, this week. That's just a future price target. But we do need to break this all-time high level to get to that. And as you can see indicated by this pink trend line, we are forming this pretty heavy resistance. So something that we could potentially see is a move sideways, right? We can have an A, B, C, D, and E as we coil tighter and tighter. Something like that, possibly. Maybe an ascending triangle, right? We create maybe a potential triple top here. So we just need to see what happens. We just need to wait out and see what happens and play according to price action, right? I'm not going to have a thesis saying I'm bullish or bearish. I'm going to be neutral, and I'm just going to take trades based on price action. Okay, anyone have any questions so far? Let's see if anyone has any questions first before I move on. Get rid of those indicators. All right, let's go into Airbnb. Airbnb is going to be one of my top plays. So, indicated by this 0.5 fib level. If you watch my fib video level, you know how to do this, right? So from swing low to swing high. And taking a look at this, right? The 0.5 is a major level that you need to look for, right? The 382, the 0.5, and the 618 are all of the major levels that you want to look for when going from either swing low, swing high, or swing high to swing low. And we bounced right there. We also have a falling wedge break to the upside. So I really like this a lot, right? And if you're playing just the fib method, which I suggest you don't, you always need multiple forms of confirmation, right? The 382 would have been your entry point, and your stop loss would have been back here. So according to the fib level price targets, let me put on the next one, right? So you're going to be aiming for the 202 level next, which I definitely agree with, right? Because if we take a fib extension, right, this becomes a wave 1 with the wave 2 pullback. The 1618 is all the way up here, which lines up perfectly with this previous resistance. So I definitely like this to the upside. Let's take a look at the indicators. So on the 1 hour, right, MACD and the RSI look good to start heading back to the upside. And MACD is a great indicator to use with the Fibonacci levels. Yeah, tech is getting crazy. The market's been crazy, so definitely play light and definitely play as a risk first trader as opposed to a profit first trader. That was a big mistake I made when I first started trading. I would always say, "Oh, but I can make this amount of money, or I can make X amount," and I would never say I can lose this amount. Right? You always want to be focused on defending the capital you have and being risk first. Always risk first, because when you go into a trade just hoping for profit, it's not going to work out like that. So that was a big thing that I learned as a new trader. Let's check out the daily. All right, so even on the daily, the data doesn't even show up because of how new the data is. But right, we're in an overall uptrend, and this is just a slight pullback in the overall uptrend. So I definitely like that. Make this music a little lower. Yep, always risk first. So we are in an overall uptrend, right? And we are just in a slight pullback within the uptrend, and I could definitely see some more upside. Also, Airbnb, right? Everything is starting to reopen. People are going to start to book more vacations, right? I don't focus on fundamentals, but it's just a pretty obvious observation that this could definitely see some potential upside. Okay. I have been trading for 6 years. Yeah. 6 years, about to be, what day is it today? About to be 7. Yeah. Defend it like a pirate. Exactly. Yeah, trying to chase and revenge trade is also terrible. If you see a stock that's up 15%, there's really no reason to get in, because you know as soon as you get in, it's going to start to either one, move sideways, or start heading to the downside. And yes, here and there it does continue to go, and right, you'll miss those opportunities, but don't worry about it. There's you'll be trading if you trade consistently on the same types of setups, you'll see the same thing over and over again, and you'll also realize that you have unlimited time. So don't rush anything, right? I could take a trade, I could take a week, and I could do 2 trades, and it's just another week. It is what it is. There's always more time. How long before you become profitable? That's totally up to you, right? It depends how much time and effort you put into it. I was profitable since my first year. I grinded. It's something I love, and if it's something that you love, you'll find the time to do it. I studied, I read, I watched videos every single night, and the biggest thing for me was charting myself. Right? I actually used to follow some people's plays, and I never became profitable until I started doing it myself. So use these YouTube videos I make and these videos everyone else makes, and the knowledge that C-Blast and I and all the other analysts and staff provide, and create your own strategy with it and see what works for you. And that's how you'll become profitable. Right? Because we're not always going to be here just to put out our plays, right? So you have to put in the time yourself and learn how to do it. And my goal, and C-Blast's goal, and all the other staff and analysts' goal is to make that process faster. Entry point on Airbnb. Oh, thanks for asking that. I totally went over that. So entry point is over this candle, which is, let me get the price. Right over the high, 196.48. Thoughts on selling options? If you know what you're doing, great idea. It's a great long-term strategy. It's great if you own stock, like let's say you have 500 shares or something and you want to hold it long term. It's great to sell options, like out of the money options, and collect that premium. Right? I think that's what Warren Buffett does. Right? Because then you could still make money when the stock moves to the downside. So it's great. Yep. And it's all about risk versus reward, which is why I love the falling wedge setup, because it gives a very easy to spot risk to reward ratio. Right? So my entry points are always after the pullback, right? We break out of the falling wedge, we retest, which is exactly what's going on. You enter at the high of the candle, and usually the price target is the top of the falling wedge. So we have all this room to the upside to run. Did not mean to place that. And your stop loss is right below the low of the candle, or the low of the wedge. So we have a tiny room to lose with a lot of room to profit, which is why it's my favorite strategy. Let me get these things out of here. So Airbnb, right, 196.48, and stop loss. I don't use stop losses on options. It's just mental stop losses, which it's a personal thing. If you're a newer trader, you could definitely use a stop loss because it's just a learning experience. But invalidation level is within this region right here, right below this candle. So that 188, 187 region, maybe 186, right? There's no set point, but within this region, if it breaks this. Do I believe that we will see a larger correction? I wish I had a crystal ball. I don't know. It really depends. Right? News could come out and anything can happen. But the market is meant to go up. So we'll see what happens. What would be the worst case when selling covered calls? if they exercise, then you lose 100 shares. So I mean, I have a long-term portfolio. So Christian asked, do you play more options or stock? I play both. I day trade options, right? I don't day trade stock. I day trade options, day trade slash swing trade. So I used to swing trade when I worked at the office, but now that I work from home, I have unlimited time. So I day trade options, and any of the profits that I make at the end of the month or every 2 months, it really just depends, I roll them into my long-term account and I trade stocks. But I definitely trade options way more. Every single dip, I'll add my stock portfolio. Best way to grow a small account. So when I first started, I started with $140. And I don't know if it was luck or not, but I ended up turning that $140 in one trade, my first trade ever, into I think 600. I made like $500 on a trade, like 500%. And then that's like what sparked my interest and love for the stock market. And then since then I've been hooked, and I ended up growing that into 10,000, and then so forth and so on. So the best way is just to use high probability setups. So personally, I like to follow the falling wedge setup, the bull flag setup, and I use multiple forms of confirmation. Multiple forms means you use the fibs, I use Elliott wave theory, I use the MACD and the RSI, I use volume, I use unusual options activity. All of that gives me multiple ways of confirmation. Finviz offers an hourly scanner, but it's something you have to pay for. I'm not sure about anything else. I just use the daily free one for stuff like that. Let's get on to the next ticker, Piton. So Piton has seen some significant downside in the last couple of weeks. Take away these indicators. This chart gets clearer. And I feel like we bottomed here. If we take the fib level of the swing low, right, swing low to the swing high, we bounced exactly at that 0.5 level. So once again, you need to look out for the 382, the 0.5, and the 618. And this level ends up lining perfectly with this previous resistance and this previous support, right? So it was a given that we were going to bounce right here. Now that makes me think that we found a bottom, a potential first bottom. And here we have a downtrend channel, which could be a wave 2. So, right, this could be wave 1, wave 2, and then we're going to be looking for some wave 3 upside around that region. Once again, to get the price targets, you take the fib extensions from the bottom to the top and look right at this level. And that level ends up lining perfectly with this previous major resistance. And that just makes sense, right? Previous resistance acts as previous support until it fails through, and then it acts as a previous resistance again. So I definitely think we see some more upside. My entry price is around this 109.39 level, this previous candle and this previous resistance, right? We're starting to flag on the break. So I definitely am bullish going forward on this. Invalidation level, right? It's pretty easy to see, is below the bottom of these candles right in this region. So we have a potential to make a lot and to lose a little, right? And it comes down to sizing right. If you have a problem with sizing too large, just always go smaller than you think. If you have $1,000 account, don't take anything over Depends how risky you are, but over 150 bucks, 200 bucks if you wanted to, you know, think about losing 200 bucks if you have $1,000. That's kind of significant. So definitely like this setup here. Draftkings. I like Draftkings on the daily. Let's take a look. So we just broke out past all-time highs, right? All-time high. We broke out, but we ended up coming back to the downside, so it was a fake out. And then we retested this previous support twice. And now we're at all-time highs. And, right, I love playing the breakout of all-time high. It's amazing. We played this right here. We entered over that 64.78 level a couple, that was on the March 1st. So that was a while ago now. And we had that parabolic move to the upside. So if we break this 74.09 level, I'm going to take a weekly call and I will play that big jump that happens, and I'll probably sell within that hour that it breaks, hour or 2 hours. Yeah, so Andre, definitely a good suggestion. You can always go online. There's calculators for all that stuff. Maybe post it in the Discord, or you can even post the link down here. I don't think I have any privacy settings on, so you should be able to post a link if anyone finds anything good. Once again for DraftKings, I'm just looking to play that all-time high break. Sports betting with March Madness and everything right now, definitely good numbers to be released, I'm assuming. And sports betting becoming legal in more and more states, definitely bullish. I'm going to go over this one after. Neo. So, Neo, I think it's found its potential bottom here. So, we did just have a 5-wave sequence to the upside. Let me go into the smaller time frame. All right, so we had our wave 1, wave 2 pullback to that 618 level, wave 3 move, wave 4 pullback, wave 5, and now some sideways consolidation. And we are flagging on these small time frames, right? It's not the neatest flag. It's not the most pretty flag I've ever seen, right? But you get the point. We are flagging. We are moving sideways. This previous support region, right? Previous support, we are hovering right above it. And this wave 2 level, so this fib is from wave 2. Wait, this should be right here. Okay, let me redo that because I had it at the wrong spot. So to take the fib level, right, from the bottom to the top, and we are bouncing right off that 382 level, which it's a high probability of a reversal at that level, right? Bottom candle bounce right off the 382, and I could expect a bounce or a move to the upside over this resistance to give us our wave 3 to the upside, which our target would be 63. Okay. So I definitely like this with EV being hot and Cathie Wood giving that insane price target on Tesla, right? These other EV companies can potentially receive some sympathy. So a good target, or a good entry point, excuse me, is right over that high candle, so 44.85, and your first resistance level is going to be right the high of the flag, so 46.29. And to get some targets to the upside, I like to use my fibs. So definitely like Neo. Target, this play I got stopped out, which it is what it is, but I should have seen it coming. We had this previous bounce here back in January, and we literally bounced right off of it again. And I ended up selling at the bottom. It happens. You can't win every time. But we entered at that break. I wanted to see a break of this candle, and we got faked out. But we did take 2 weeks out because I was anticipating a slower move, and we ended up moving sideways. We bounced, which I cut my loss. But now we moved to the upside. We rejected. We got our wave 2. I wish I saw this. And we had that insane move to the upside, and we ended up hitting exactly at the 2. We rejected. So I could potentially see some more sideways price action before seeing that wave higher. I'm looking for a wave 5 play. I will, of course, alert you and keep you updated in the Discord as this happens. So I am looking for a wave 4 flag. I expect to see something, right? Wave 4 flag or falling wedge, something like this, before we move higher for a wave 5. Yeah, Target faked me out, man. It happens. You can't win them all. So it is what it is. So Andre said we're targeting 63. How do you determine the time frame? Right? So time frames are definitely hard to predict, and it's something you can't predict. You need to play price action. You need to see how strong the move is, how the volume is, how the unusual options activity is. But, right, looking at this previous trend to the downside, this was February 9th, and this was March 5th. So this was only in about a month, right? So if we had a move to the downside in a month of 50%, picture what it can do to the upside. Right, so if I take this and move it over, if this exact move happened again, which, I mean, it could happen, but we'll see what happens, right? No one knows. From the low, right, that would target 73. Target 73 by April 9th. So, I mean, don't say it's not possible until it happens. Target we went over. All right. GEVO. So someone asked what my thoughts are on Trader Stewie's, and I got these picks from him because I really like the setup. I'm going to do chart request a little bit after, once I finish these. So GEVO, right? Nice falling wedge to the downside. We rejected, pulled back for a wave 2. And now we're breaking out of this previous resistance. We're in a wave 3. Potential reject right around that 1042 level, right? And then a move higher. So I'm watching for a break of this one. As you can see, I have my alert set already, right? So make sure you set your alerts on all the breakout points or before the breakout points so you're notified. Yeah, Neo got crushed. So make sure you set your alerts. That way you're notified before the move happens. That way you can get in. And price target is 1557. I'm looking for, right, falling wedge. Price targets are usually the top of the wedge. Now, another way to look at this. Let me go into a higher time frame. So let's go over the fibs, right? If you didn't watch the fib video, make sure you go over it. So these red fibs are what I'm looking at right now. So from the bottom of the trend, right around here, to the top of the trend is where you draw the fibs. And the ones that you want to look for, right, the 382, the 0.5, and the 618. So look what happened. We bounced exactly at that 618. So it faked through, but it ended up holding, right? It closed above, so that's valid. And your entry point would have been this 0.5, right? If you watch this video, you know exactly what to do. And your targets are the fibs above. So your 382 would have gotten a hit, And look how they acted as support and resistance, right? Acted as resistance. We came back down and used it as a new support, that 0.5 level. And your stop loss would have been somewhere in between, or the 618. So now your next price target, if you're using just fibs, is the 236. Let's take a look at the indicators, right? So fibs work great with the MACD. We just had a cross and we are gaining some momentum, so we can expect a move to the upside. I'd love to see a break back to that all-time high level. Or I don't know if it's all-time high. Yeah, it's not all-time high. Recent all-time high. Just based off recent price action. On to the next. UNFI. So I got this from Trader Stewie as well. Falling wedge, not as clean, but I still like it. We had a nice break to the upside. We're flagging to the outside. I like this 1 hour MACD. We're starting to move back to the upside. As well as this, I think we could start to see a move back up. And a move over that 35.48 candle, right? That higher candle. I would take a entry and I look for a price target of the top of the wedge. Right? So entry right here, price target up here, stop loss below the wedge. Which if we do end up coming back down here, I expect this 32.24 level to hold, right? Previous resistance, and it ended up holding right here. So it's not exactly on the line, but it doesn't have to be exactly on the line. It's just within that area. It did end up holding, right? This previous resistance, it ended up holding right there. So I definitely like that a lot. Tesla, I'm sure a lot of you guys wanted to see this one. So let me go on to the 4 hour. Okay, so I know there's a lot on here, so don't get scared. So this could be our wave 3 with the wave 4 pullback before seeing a wave 5 move to all-time high, which that could definitely happen. Another count is, right, we had a smaller wave 5 pullback, right? Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Now this wave sequence becomes A. Where is it drawn? Okay, so A, right? Drawn right here, the green little A. We just had our move B to the upside, and we could potentially be in a wave C back to the downside. That's one count. The other count is that this is a wave 4 pullback, and then we have this wave 1, wave 2 pullback to the 0.5, right? I already drew it from the bottom to the top. And now we're entering a wave 3, which I have drawn here, which the target for a wave 3 move to the upside is 917. So how are we going to know if this is a move, a C wave or a wave 3? This 718 level is huge. If we break this 718 level, we'll be in a wave 3 to the upside. If we end up coming back down around that 600 level, if we break 600 to the downside, we're probably going to see that move down. So we just need to wait and see what happens and confirm price action, right? If we take a look at the MACD, looks pretty bearish. Let's go to the daily. Looks about neutral, right? It crossed right here. So we just need to wait and see what happens. But on the smaller time frame, let's check it out. So this is a bearish pattern right here, right? If we saw this reversed, let me draw it just so you guys can see as a little lesson here, right? It's flagging, and it's creating that reverse falling wedge pattern, right? It's flagging and it's creating a reverse falling wedge. So you would draw this, all right? This is exactly what it's doing. This is a a bearish falling wedge, or rising wedge in this case. So your entry point, right? You would play puts down below to this way. And your stop loss would be right here. Yep, so if Tesla breaks below this level, which to be exact is that 624.62 level, great area to play puts. So I hope you guys see how this is a bearish pattern. But this is the 45 minute, 30 minute, whatever. It all looks the same. Last but not least, Fubo. I like Fubo going into this week. Why do I like Fubo? We have a decent falling wedge break. So we just had an ABC, correct? We have our wave 1, wave 2 pullback to the 786. Not exact, but it doesn't need to be. We broke out, we retested, and now I am looking for a move to the upside. When do I decide to use higher time frame or lower time frame? I'm just looking for multiple forms of confirmation. So if I see the same pattern in multiple time frames, it's definitely a good indication that that pattern is correct. Also, depending on the type of play that you're looking to do. If you're looking to do a weekly option, you're going to look on the smaller time frame. You're not going to look at the daily time frame to play a weekly option, especially on deciding where to enter. Fubo, right? We've seen some insane downside also, so this could potentially be a bottom, as we bottomed here multiple times, right? We have some support, and we found some support again. So I like this. This also looks pretty similar to this right here, right? We saw some significant downside. We bounced up and we flagged, right? Let me draw this. We flagged. We broke out. We ended up retesting a little bit later, but you get the point. Before seeing significant upside. So patterns repeat themselves, and it could definitely happen, right? It looks pretty similar. Let's get that break to the upside and let's play it. So that's exactly what I'm watching for the week. Now, I'm not limiting myself to this. I always look at the unusual options flow, and anything that I see or like, I will act upon. All right, let's start doing some requests for the next 20 minutes or so. Also, if you have any questions about trading, feel free to reach out. All right. Fubo. So, I don't know what I have here. Fubo, I like this chart. I was looking at this. The unusual options flow has been crazy. We're flagging, right? So if we take the fibs from swing low to swing high, right? We ended up finding some support at that 0.5 level. We bounced higher. We rejected at that 236, and now we're in the middle here. So right now we're in no man's land, right? According to the fibs. But if you look for other forms of confirmation, right? We have previous resistance. So this could definitely act as a new support right here. So if this does, the 382, the 141 level would be a good area as an entry. What's up, Eric? But I like this. I like it a lot. So that 141 you can use as an entry. Okay. Not bad. I could definitely see, all right? So this just looks like a great flag. Love it. Big C. Big C I love. Love. This is the longest flag I've ever seen in my life. The longest higher, or should I say, tightening squeeze. Right? So we were just getting tighter and tighter and tighter. We broke out, and then we retested. And now we've been just riding this previous resistance as a new support for so long now. So I'm definitely looking for some upside here. So I'm definitely looking for some upside. Here's my chart if you want a screenshot, or I can always post. If you want to DM me, right? Yeah, I can. I'll always answer. Might not be right away. I do get a lot of DMs, so just give it some time. But I like this a lot. Definitely bullish. On to the next. Whoops. Tiger. TIGR. So, right. So I'm gonna just start with the fibs. It's always a good way to look at things. So from swing low to swing high, we just came through all these. Let's go on the daily. So it held at 618, and then all right, so now I'm just going to look for some signs, right? We could potentially use that as a trend line. I don't know how strong that is. Let's go into the smaller time frame and look at some frequent or recent price action. It looks like we're flagging. Right, so we have that resistance level. And we have this. So definitely flagging. We have our A, B, C, D, and potential wave E in the make. All right, let me draw that out. A, B, C, D, E. We're coiling. We're getting tighter and tighter. We can expect a bounce out of this, as this is a bullish pattern. So an entry point, right? You can always play the break of the candles, which is what I like to do. So you can enter at that 21-24 level. You can enter. I can't stand when these bottom icons come up. Let me move this up so it doesn't happen. Or you can enter at the break of that B wave, 22-17. Both great areas. This one's definitely going to be a little bit less risky. And the price target on a smaller time frame would be the top of this wedge. Okay. Let's see. Let me go back up. AMC. Oh boy. I still have a couple of my AMC shares left. I think I took profit at around 25, 30, 35%. I'm not sure. But now I'm up, let me pull it up. 71%. Crazy. So we have our wave 1, wave 2 pullback. And we were in a wave 3 here, right? We're still in this uptrend. So if we can break this high right here, right, which is the 1454 level, if we can break that, definitely bullish. We could see 15, maybe even 16, maybe even 17. This level needs to hold 1291, which is this previous support. So we need to see what happens. Right? We resisted again. So that level is the one you need to break, 1449 or 1450. HZS best long-term stocks to hold. Depends what your risk style. Something safe, SPY, QQQ. Just the different sectors. If you want more risky, well, those are ETFs, but you get the point. Best stocks, right? You want to look for some significant upside, so potentially cannabis or something online gambling. Yeah. Solar, electric vehicles. I like the stock Window, WNDW. Been in it since like $2. Been in it for a long time now. SE. If you guys put a ticker out, just give me a little message of what you like about it or what you want to see about it, just so I have some indication. Okay, I feel like that would definitely help. So SE, right? We found this bottom here. We're flagging. This is just a pullback in the long-term uptrend, right? So I'm looking at the daily. Let's take the fib from the low to the high, right? So if we do that, we haven't even gone near the 0.5, so this is nowhere near a significant correction. We're hovering right under the 236, and if we do bounce here, we're creating a higher high. So we have a reversal, we have a higher reversal, and then we have an even higher reversal. So we're starting to create some higher lows and lower highs. So we're getting tighter and tighter. We're moving sideways, which generally leads in a big move. So if it breaks, right, you can either play the fibs, which would be around this 228 level or 229. Also, you just use other previous resistances. So I see resistance here, resistance here, and here. So you can definitely use this 241 level or even 240, right? Common psychological levels. Let's take a look at the smaller time frames. Stocks have been so choppy lately. It's been hard. It's been very hard, guys. So just make sure you're sizing smaller than normal. Don't be looking for any home runs. Like, look at this price action. Imagine trying to swing overnight. Like, it's just moving sideways. And it's so choppy. Right? Back then, we were just in a steady uptrend. And swings were doing so well. Now it's so hard to swing. Right? It's just constant up and down. But I like that 241 level as an entry. Whoa, Eric's name is green. Oh wow, did you become a member? I just enabled that, so I have no idea. My man Eric. Alright, I'm trying to get to everyone, guys, so just please be thoughtful of everyone else. RKT. RKT. So let me delete everything here. It looks like a mess. look at this sideways consolidation. So, right, look at that. Previous resistance acted as a new support. We came back down and we bounced again. So I could definitely see a potential bounce here, right? This level also lines up with these major resistance points. Midwest, my man. I'll go over that in a second. Right, so we're in this significant range, right? Previous resistance, resisted. So we can expect a reversal, right? Old resistance acting as a new support. Happens all the time. A point that of entry that I would look for is probably over these candles. Right, that 2393 level, 24 region, a move back to the upside, or we can even go like this. Right, we're starting to form a triangle here. So yeah, I do like that 24 region as an entry. Eric, thanks, man. You're the first guy. You're the first member. I appreciate it. Sumo. So Sumo's down a lot from recent highs. But as you can see, we're approaching the lows. So if it breaks below this, definitely bearish. Now, so you said, does this look good for a swing? So, right, we are in a steady downtrend, right? If we take the fibs from the swing low to the swing high, we broke all the important levels, the 382, the 5, the 618. We're probably even below the 786. Yep. So this is bearish, right? We broke all of them. And what we can expect is a potential move back to the upside, right? So you could definitely play the move to the upside and a reject near the 0.5 or the 618, right? That's what usually happens. Right, so we have, let me turn this off so I could draw for you. We generally have this. If we don't find a support here, right, it usually goes like that, and it will bounce off the fibs like this. But since we broke through all of these, right, we could potentially see a move back up here before coming back down even lower. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. Right, I don't know, but I'm just basing it off what I am used to seeing. But you need to watch this 1671 level, as that is the low of the low. If it breaks that, ouch. Look at all the selling volume as well. So, yeah, steady downtrend. This is not something that I would personally go long on. I mean, I also don't know what the company is. If you want to go long on something, you also have to know what the company provides and if you personally like them. Yeah, if you have any questions or more questions, please let me know. Yeah, no problem, Gemini. All right. Visa. Let's do Visa because a bunch of you requested that. I'm not gonna be able to get to all you guys, so I'm sorry. I'm not trying to avoid anyone. But if I don't get to the chart that you want, just DM me, and I could give you my analysis on that because I don't have all night to do this. Okay, let me start with the daily. Let me just delete this because it's all over the place. So Did they have earnings? Why did it crash like this? Let me see what you guys were saying. We do have another member. Appreciate it, man. Does anyone know what happened with Visa? Why did it crash like this? It's a big red day. But what I look for, right? So I'm just looking for major areas of support and resistance. So, right, this area, major area of resistance. My man, appreciate you guys. I'm going to do that next. Major area of support, right? So this area right here, previous resistance, acted as a new support right here, right? So we can assume that this area will hold. After a recent sell-off, right, we can potentially see a move sideways before seeing a move higher. Then let's take a look at some trends, right? We have that region. So this trend line lines up perfectly with this green box that I just drew. Yeah, I'm trying to be more instructive as opposed to, just covering tickers and, just giving you my thoughts. Right, I'm trying to teach you guys as opposed to, just being like everyone else and just, this is bullish, this is bearish. I'm just trying to make you guys learn. That way you could do it by yourself, and that way you don't have to rely on me or anyone else, right? Because when I first started, I was just relying on everyone else, and when they weren't there, I literally blew my entire account. Okay. So yeah, this trend line lines up perfectly with this previous resistance, this previous support. So we can expect a reversal within this region. And then if this doesn't hold, right, we would be bearish. Let's do CCIB. Delete all this. So, I mean, this is like Tesla kind of, right? So we saw some downside. We have a potential bottom here that ended up finding its bottom, right in this region. And why am I highlighting this region? We have that previous resistance acting as a new support, and again acting as a new support again. So this could potentially be the bottom, right? We have declining volume. Declining volume tends to lead to a bigger move. So, right, I always look for multiple forms of confirmation. This could be a wave 1 with the wave 2 before seeing a wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, right? I'm just putting these in random places because I haven't scaled it out yet. Let's see where the wave 2, right, if this is a wave 2, bounced off of. So it is holding this 0.5 level. Wave 2s are valid over the 786. So I'm going to turn them all off just to make this more clear for everyone. So we are holding this 0.5. So if this does hold, we could definitely see some more upside. And then if we end up breaking this high candle, a wave 3 move is definitely highly likely, right? If we break 32.97, which, right, we're only at 26.88, so we do have some time in between, but I'm just, right, trying to give you some knowledge. If we do break this, we could definitely see some more upside, and the target would be, right, so we take the fib from the bottom candle to the top candle and then back down to wave 2 around 46. And this is exactly what I do with every single chart that I look at. And I've had a green year every year. There you go, Gemini. Yeah, taking notes. See, if you take notes, you will be successful. And if you looked at my recent YouTube video, that trading journal, man, did that help me. I still to this day write down all my trades. I write down every trade that I take. I write down my entry price. I write down my emotions behind the trade, right? Because it is hard to take your emotions out of trading. Even to this day, I still have problems with it. It's hard. We all have downfalls, but I'll write everything about it, and you learn from your mistakes, and you become better and better and better as you continue to trade. But I like this, and this is valid over the 786, so it does definitely have some more room to go down. 23 is right the ideal spot for a bottom. Yeah, definitely start a trading journal. Definitely start. Wish. Okay. You're long, but you wanted my opinion on short term. So, I do like the short term, right? We have a potential flag, right? Right, it doesn't need to be perfect. You guys get the point. Something like that. As long as you just get it near. It doesn't always need to be this perfect drawing, right? We're not artists, we're traders. So it's had some significant downside. It had earnings, which was positive by 68%. So that's great. And this could be wave 1, wave 2 pullback, and then looking for a wave 3. So this is exactly like the last chart that we just looked at, right? We have also, I just want to show you just so you guys can realize this. That was a nice flag in the making, right? Flag, breakout. This is exactly what we look for. Like, this is the goal of every single trade, to find that. You enter at the break of the candle, and you ride it to the top of the wedge, and in this case it hit. So this was a trader's dream, if you call it that. So you break out, and then you end up tightening up, which is exactly what's happening, right? We've seen this in almost every single chart that we've looked at tonight. And a safe entry, right, is over that candle. If you do enter at this candle, right, so you always got to look for previous resistances or supports back then. All right, so that's definitely going to be a major area. That candle ended up acting as a new support after it broke through, right? We broke it again, and then we used this previous candle as a new support, and we rejected here. So old support acting as a new resistance, and if you enter here, you're going to have to expect some turbulence right here, and then if you break that, you can definitely see some more upside. Yeah, TraderSync is pretty great. I found me just writing it on like pen and paper. It's worked. So I'm just gonna continue with what's working. Oh, so the DOJ was investigating Visa. Makes sense. See, like, news you can never take account for, so it is what it is. All right, let's check out a couple more tickers. Let's check out Space. So falling wedge, small flag. So I'm just reading a comment here. You're in April 28 calls. Okay, so you're about a month out. You have a month and 28 calls, so you're in the money by a lot. I honestly love space. The ticker. I do love space, but I do like the ticker. Right? So this is the exact same setup. Some significant downside. We bounced near previous support or previous resistance, right? Again, it's the same thing on every chart. I hope you guys are seeing similar patterns. We bounce, we reject near old resistance, new support, a new resistance. We start to flag before moving higher. So same thing here. Flag, wave 2, looking for a break to the upside. Okay, so if you want me to draw it out just so you could see it, right? And we're potentially even breaking out to the upside on this. I like this as a long-term play too, right? With Kathy Wood's space ETF coming out soon. I'm not sure when it's coming out or even if it is. This is clearly going to be added into it. And space is a future play, right? It could be the future tech of what it is, of what tech is today. So I like space a lot. I'm going to go over 2 more tickers. Mogo. Okay. Let's see what we got. All right, so we're near all-time highs. We rejected. What do I see? I hope you guys see it too. Whoops. I cannot click my mouse right now. There we go. Potential cup and handle here. Now, this cup and handle could have been right here, but I'm going to use this. I like that because this rejected right there. This is a flat resistance, flat cup and handle. I like that. So just like I said about SPY, how you see how it breaks the all-time high, right? This was the previous all-time high. It breaks, it pulls back. Let me show you, right? We break it, we pull back before moving higher. So same exact pattern. Right? Previous all-time high. We break it, we pull back underneath, we go back to the upside. What ticker was that? Mogo. So look, we break, we pull back before going higher. So that could definitely happen. All right, 1186 is the entry. This previous all-time high. All right, 1186 is the entry. Your price target's at 1229 level and higher. March 29th. Okay. Awesome. So that could definitely be big. Definitely could be very big. All right, one more ticker. Let's try and agree on a ticker in the chat that all of us want to see here. One more ticker, but I'm also going to do Bitcoin. So Bitcoin won't count, but I'm going to do one more. All right, excuse all this stuff. No problem, Omar. Appreciate you stopping by, definitely. Happy to have everyone here. So I hope you looked at C-Blast Twitter, right? He's looking for an ABCDE correction, right? Something like that. A, B, C, D, and E, right over this middle channel trend line. Or, right, we had our wave, we're in our wave 4 currently. We just had a 5-wave sequence, A, B, C potentially. So we just need to wait for price action to keep going on to see what type of correction this is. But definitely bullish. So I'm still not seeing a repetitive ticker. Let's try and agree on something. Does anyone want to see Boeing besides Eric? I already charted Fu too. I'll just go to it quick. I mean, I did really just 2 lines. But here's Fu too. All right, let's do Boeing. The perks of being a member. Member of my YouTube. You gotta support the fans. So, all right, I have stuff everywhere. So let me delete this and clean this up a little bit. Draftkings I did already. This will be posted on YouTube, so if you want to just go back and scroll through, definitely suggest that. Okay, so Boeing. Let's take a look at recent price data. That looks like a nice falling wedge if I've ever seen a falling wedge, right? That's pretty beautiful, guys. That looks good. All right, we have our flagpole with the pullback. Let's take a look at the fibs. All right, so it's still over that 0.5. We are hovering across that 382. We're gliding, right? We found some support, bounced up, came back down, we held, and we're moving sideways, right? So that's one form of confirmation. We have an A wave, B, C, potential D, and E. All right, so if that happens, I will definitely look for an entry. Let's look for other forms of support and resistance. So I'm looking back here. Really nothing major, right? This level is an area of resistance. 246. So that 246 level can totally act, right? It acted as resistance right here. So we could potentially see an E wave back to 246.70 before going back up. Right, so let me zoom out a little bit on a smaller time frame. So what we could see, right? Something like this before coming back down and then moving to the upside. We move to the upside, we break, we pull back, we retest, and then we have our wave 3, wave 4 flag, wave 5 higher. I mean, I've seen it a million times. So if you see something once, you'll probably see it again in trading. So you just got to keep your eye out for consistent patterns. Definitely like it. Appreciate that, Eric. All right. Anyone have any questions in general about trading, not chart request? Any last things I can cover for you guys? We answered some great questions before. Let me go back to this just so you could see it. No problem, Eric. Appreciate you supporting and stopping by. Futures are up. Oh, I like this. QS. Right, we're starting to flag. I totally forgot about this one. Right, triangle. We break out and flag. I'm glad I just came across that. That's another one I'm going to add to the watch list. QS. So James asked, do you jump in and out of these breaks and falling wedges, or do you hold waiting for the longer term upside? So personally, I like to play the quick jumps. There's nothing better than jumping in a trade, right? A weekly option and taking 50%. I'll take that every single day. I'm not looking for, 1,000% gainers. Those are something that you leave runners, right? You always should leave runners. You should never hold your full trade that expecting 100%, right? Especially in the current market, I'm always scaling out, right? 20%, 50%, whatever it is. I'm always scaling out because anything can happen nowadays. It's insane. So always scale out. I'm always looking for a quick move. If you jump in something and it shoots up 20% right away, why not take that profit, right? That's yeah, it can go up 100, 200, 300%, but you want to take profit where you can control it, right? So you got to be in control of the trade. No one knows if it's going to go up 200%. No one knows if it's going to go down 100%. So if you get 20%, right, in 2 minutes, I'll always take that. Yeah, but just to answer your question simply, I do jump in and out. Right? My old term strategy when I was busy working would be to buy swing trades 2-3 months, 2 to 3 months out, because the market would trend consistently for a decent amount of time before seeing a decent sized correction, unlike now where the market just whipsaws back and forth. So my old strategy was swing trading and playing the entire bull flag or falling wedge. But now, due to the current market and with everything going on, I just like to jump in and out and take some quick profits, and it's been working out pretty well. Yep, there's always another day, always another trade, always another day. So no reason to not take profits. And a number one rule that you should always follow is don't let a green trade turn red. If you have a trade that's up 30% and it ends up coming back down to 5%, to 0%, just cut it. Yeah, it's gonna suck. You're gonna be mad that that you didn't take profit when you did, but don't let a green trade turn red. Okay. At what point do you think we can start thinking we are entering a bear market with QQQ? The level we need to watch for now, again, is just the low. This recent low that we had. If we break this, I mean, we could potentially see like 280. So below this 297, 298 region. I think we could potentially see 280. Yeah, it's brutal when you have a green trade to go red. That's brutal. Right? You're always like, I wish I just took profit. And no one ever went broke taking profit. I'll always say that. You will not go broke taking profit. Or you will not blow up your account taking profit. So always take it when you got it. Don't be greedy. Yep. Exactly, Eric. Exactly. Yeah, it happens. I mean, as a new trader, if you're a new trader, and I classify a new trader, anyone trading for less than like a year or 2 years, you're you're gonna continue to make mistakes. But unless you learn, you have to learn from your mistakes. Write them down. Like write, um, Nickel. I think your name's Nick. If it's not, I'm just gonna call you Nick. Um, like write that down. Write SOS up 35%. Didn't sell. Write the reason that you didn't sell. Um, and write what you could have done better. Right? You should have taken that profit. Go look at that chart and see where you should have taken profits or where you should have started scaling out. Yes, James, I do. It's on my channel. It's Elliot, how to Elliott Wave. Um, I think it's like the purple title, purple thumbnail. So just try and write everything down. Also, James, if you're not in the Discord, join the Discord. I'm pretty sure the link's in the bio. And I have like a whole how to Elliott Wave guide with like diagrams and pictures and everything. All right, any last minute questions? Vince, my main methods are my top one's unusual options activity, along with Elliott Wave theory, patterns. Those are my main three. Eric asked, what amount is considered a good profit for a first year trader? Anything profit. If you make profit your first year trading, you are doing way better than most people. Most people and red. So just if you're a first year trader, just look for profit. And that's it. Gordon, I do not use Thinkorswim. I use Webull. But TradingView is super simple. TradingView is very, very simple. Right? Just they have a free trial. I'm pretty sure I also have a link in my bio. I don't want to sound like a cliche YouTube guy, but I do have a link in my bio. I think so. If I don't, just let me know and I could send you a link. When can I know when you go live? So I stream every weekend, every Sunday night at 8 p.m. I cover exactly what we did today. Also here and there, whenever I'm free, I stream during market hours. So I'll definitely be doing that. Or you could just turn on the little bell right next to the subscribe button. There's a little bell. You can just turn on post notifications. Christian, I don't actually have any like full in-depth training program. Um, I cover that in my weekly sessions. Like today, I I cover basically all that. Right? I don't just go over my weekly watch list. I go over my reasoning behind it, so you guys can learn and become a self-sufficient trader. Right? That's my goal, is to educate you guys on how to trade yourself, so you don't have to rely on other people. Because when I first started, all I did was rely on other people, and when I didn't have them, I'd blow up my account every single time. Um, all right, guys. I love these end screens, so I'm gonna show it off. All right, guys. Um, yeah, Gemini. I have books listed in the market resources tab in the Discord. Just scroll up to the top, or just search my name. Yeah, GameStop's very volatile for sure. All right, guys. I appreciate you all stopping by. This was a great stream for sure. I hope you guys learned a lot. All right, have a good Sunday night. Let's have a great week. I'll see you guys tomorrow.